Yeah, and for those listening live from the home of African music, Stuttgart, cities with the world, there's some story I want us to talk about. Actually, this is a concerned case, and going directly actually into it is the case of one Margaret Nduta Macharia. Remember, this is a Kenyan actually who we're trying to see what we can do here. We have seen the stories going all over social media platforms, and remember, we are delving into this story affecting Kenyans all over, be it in abroad. And today we want to address deeply concerning case involving one of our own, Margaret Macharia, who is facing the death penalty in Vietnam for drug trafficking. Remember Margaret's background, if we can just get you to know. Margaret Nduta is a Kenyan, 37-year-old Kenyan woman who was arrested in July 2023 in Tan Son Hat International Airport in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, if I have to mention that correctly. Authorities discovered over 2 kilograms of cocaine concealed in her suitcase. She claimed that a Kenyan man named John had hired her to deliver the suitcase to a woman in Laos, unaware of its contents, for a payment of $1,300, which is actually approximately to 167,000 Kenyan shillings, with all travel expenses covered. Despite her defense of ignorance regarding the drugs, the People's Court in Ho Chi Minh City found her guilty on March 6, 2025, sentencing her to death. Vietnam enforces some of the world's strict drug laws, with capital punishment applicable for trafficking over 600 grams of heroin or cocaine. Here comes the family. Family's plan for intervention. Remember, Margaret's family residing in Karikwe village, Kiharu, Murang'a County in Kenya, is in a deep anguish. Her mother, Purity Wangari, has publicly expressed their distress, noting that Margaret's grandmother passed away upon hearing the news of the sentencing. The family maintains that Margaret, on her first trip abroad seeking better opportunities, was unaware of the drugs in her luggage. They have been fervently appealing to the Kenyan government to intervene and negotiate her return. The Kenyan government here, in response to the family's pleas, the Kenyan government has taken diplomatic steps to intervene. Remember, Gatundu North MP Elijah Joroge Kuriria revealed that President William Ruto and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs have reached out to Vietnamese authorities seeking clemency for Margaret. And Kisii Senator Richard Onyonga also wrote on an urgent appeal to President Ruto, urging immediate action to safeguard Margaret's fundamental rights and explore possibilities for clemency and repatriation. He emphasized the need for humanitarian intervention while respecting Vietnam's judicial sovereignty. Here, on the other side, Vietnam's firm stance in response to Kenya's plea for clemency. The Vietnamese government issued a stern statement. We understand that you sympathize with your citizen. However, our stance and laws on drugs and corruption are severe. They apply fully to everyone who violates them, including our own Vietnamese citizen. As the leader of the Vietnam, I do not interfere when the courts sentence even Vietnamese drug dealers. This is not about citizenship, it's about protecting our children from the killer substance. They further questions Kenya's track record in similar situations, asking how Vietnamese citizens arrested in Kenya have been pardoned. For this story on the response of Vietnam's firm stance, Radio RFM is yet to confirm if truly the Vietnamese government truly issued that statement. We have to quote it, and we have no rights for that kind of story. So discussion navigating into international discussions has been actually now called upon in international legal systems, and here the question always comes in. The case undergoes the complexities faced by individuals abroad, especially concerning strict legal systems like Vietnam's. It raises critical questions of awareness and education. The questions actually that rise right now is, how can we better educate our citizens about the severe consequences of drug trafficking, intentional or otherwise, in foreign countries? The second actually we can do is the government support. What role should governments, particularly right now here talking about the Kenyan government, play in assisting citizens who find themselves entangled in foreign legal systems? The other question is, how can countries balance diplomatic relations while respecting each other's legal frameworks? To our conclusion here from the home of African music, as the execution date looms, actually which was supposed to be today, the situation remains critical. The Kenyan government continued to explore all diplomatic avenues to save Margaret's life. This case serves in countries with strict laws like Vietnam. It also highlights the importance of vigilance and awareness and when undertaking international travel and engagements. We will continue to monitor the situation closely and provide updates as they become available to us. And our thoughts are actually with Margaret and her family during this incredible time and challenge. I am being told here that there is some developing stories which we might be trying to consider, whereby the Foreign Affairs PS, who is known as Singoe, gives an update of the Margaret Nduta's case, which had a telephone, and I quote, conversation this afternoon with my counterpart, His Excellency Nguyen Minh Hang, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Vietnam, over the matter of Margaret Nduta. I conveyed to Madam Hang the anxiety of the Kenyan people on the impending execution of our national and reiterated our request for a stay of execution to allow our two countries find a path to resolving the issue. I am grateful for Madam Hang's assurance that our petition is under consideration by her country's authorities. In the meantime, our mission is Bangkok is actively following up the case in these situations. These developing stories, we might be following it here from your home of African music to tell you what is actually transpiring on this case. And as I said before, on behalf of Radio RFM, our thoughts are with Margaret and her family during this incredible, challenging time.